when you first when you fill it up, there's always a bit of air, so you got to squeeze the air out, right? Squeeze the air out. Yeah, and by the way, Pixar, you are right. I mean, it is like basic top 10 tips, and I will have to do a bit more of an expansive one at some point, I think. Damn, it's cold in my room today. How are you all doing? Hope you're okay. Just started a little bit early, as usual. This is one of the things, though, where, like, it is a pity that, you know, like, you have to always kind of, like, either use a plugin or do extra stuff. So I'm gonna try and explore and see, can we do a lot of stuff without having to use an extra plugin for the web accessibility point of view. But yeah, gonna look a bit more deeper into that. So Sergio says, I was the first one to like that video last night. I was stunned. I was stressing my head with the design. Oh, really? What were you stressing out with? What were you stressing out with? I've just got a few deliveries here from Japan. From Japan. I kind of know what the contents of this are. I kind of know, but I'm still intrigued. Hey, Gary, how are you doing? So I need to do a bit more planning for my massive, super duper, huge, humongous video. I think it's going to take about 3 days to record. So I might not record it until next week. Because obviously next week we've got the Atarim stuff, right? So I might have more time to do that because I'm not going to be doing live chats next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm going to have a bit more... God, how have they packaged this up? You know when people do overcomplicated packaging? Like it's almost like they're trying to hide something, right? Right. And then there's another parcel. Well, that's just a bit weird, isn't it? So now we have another parcel within a parcel. Okay, right, okay. So I can see some names on here. God, it's really complicated. Hey, Dave, how are you doing? I'm just unwrapping some parcels and stuff that have come here. Ah, I got you, Sergio. Colours, yeah. Oh. There's an entire envelope. Big envelope just for this. This is all it was. Look at this. Look at this. This was an entire envelope within an envelope. I'm okay, Gary, by the way. Thank you very much. So Pickstar says that if you had a simple link A tag and you wish to like add a role button that's recognized, not a normal, you can do it. Yeah, very true. Very true. Presets, freebies, swag. Well, I'm not really sure, Andrew. I'm still trying to get my head around exactly what all of this stuff is. What does this mean? It's in Japanese. Look, half of it's in Japanese. Ugh. Okay, right, so that's a camera module. I'm throwing it onto my floor, by the way. I'm not going to say just yet what it is. I know what it is, and I'm hoping come tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, you might see it on my wall. I'm not going to say who it's from. It actually is a present. I'm not going to say who it's from yet until I know exactly what it exactly does. God, this is very complicated. This looks very, very... This is a camera module. Like, what the heck? What the heck? Right, anyway. And then we got another part. There's, it came in 6 parcels. It's not a cam for Uranus. God, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Can you imagine if we had a live cam to Uranus? The planet Uranus, as we watch it spin. I'm telling you now, people, right? One day when Greta Thunberg gets her way, and like we all have to leave the world because it's doomed, right? Extinction, mass extinction. We're all gonna go. What planet can we go to? Oh, we could go to Titan, we could go to Europa. Oh, it's too cold, we'll never get to the water. Ah, what if we go to Uranus? Because apparently Uranus has water caps. Right, here you go, look. Another parcel. Hey, George. How you feeling now, by the way, George? Are you on top of your workload? I'm luckily on top of everything right now. But this is a present, a load of presents that have been sent by someone for the wall, which I have this, which is, I'm going to say amazing, but it's more than just amazing. Look at this. So this is a LED module. Doesn't look like much of an LED module though, does it? Like, and then we got another parcel here. I mean, the parcels keep coming, by the way. I can't even open this. Oh, I need to open it. Wait. The parcels for this do keep coming. There's a few more extra stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know exactly how I'm gonna make this work. Look at this. Right, look. This is the ridiculousness, okay? This is the ridiculousness of packaging. Look at this, right? Here's the box, right? Look at the box, right? It's a box, okay? Look, it's bigger than my face. It's a box, okay? You open the box. Look at all this, right? Packaging, right? There's a bit of a slip, which you don't need to worry about. Guess what's in the box? This. So, here's the box, and here's what it was. What a waste of a box. There's nothing else in here. It literally was just a remote. So far, there was all of that. Why couldn't they put that in one box? Why couldn't it be all in one box? You know? Like, look. Like, seriously. But do you want to see what there's 3 other parcels. Do you want to see what they look like? Shall I quickly get one? I'm not going to show you the inside, but do you want to see what the big box looks like? 3 of these also arrived. Wait here. Here we go. 3 of these also arrived. Like yesterday. 3 of them. And these aren't light. These are not light either. It's all the same supplier. I'm just going to pop this here for now. Whoops, nearly broke that there. I'm just going to leave that. In fact, no, I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it there for now. Anyway, right, so 3 of them also arrived. So they're going to take a bit more unpacking and stuff like that. Hey, Big Kahuna. If I haven't said any hi to Andrew, obviously, you know, you're here as well. Great to have you all. So I did some, put out a top 10 tips on web accessibility because I feel like it's something that, so you all know Anne, who's usually on the Elemental forums. You know, she's very, she's very passionate about web accessibility. I had a meeting with her 2 months ago, and I told her then I need to push it more, and it kept slipping off my radar. And then last week I went and recorded some videos for it and got it out, and it's something I'm going to make sure that I push for a lot more in the future website builds that I do, because I think it is something that very much gets overlooked way too much. And I like to hope that, hey John, and I hope that the thank you Planet Pilana, and also that Chrome extension tool, which I think is super cool when it comes to looking at web accessibility, and I think it's super important. Not from a legal punishment, penalising kind of point of view, but I think it's about, if we can do, hey Maddie, if we can do anything to make websites be easier to use for anyone, I think it's good. I don't think you can achieve everything. There's always going to be an issue here or there. but there's always something about doing a little bit more than what you would do normally. So I'm going to be unpacking these. I don't want to show you what it... I know what it is. I know what it is. Because I checked the name of one of the parcels. And I was like, oh, really? Wow. But I don't want to tell you what it is until I've got it up and I know it's working. Because I do think there's a chance. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm a bit worried. Because they're not cheap, whatever they are. But that's all I'm going to say about it. So I also need to do a bit of planning. I've actually got it here. I need to plan out this. So I'm going to build out an Elementor website. It's going to have WooCommerce. It's going to have LMS in there. It's going to have blogs. It's going to have web accessibility, good practice, page speed optimization, mobile responsiveness. It's going to have loads of stuff. But I want to make sure that it's very... I want to make it different as well. I don't want it to be just your bog standard hero banner, services, about team. You know, I don't want a boring layout. I want to do something that is... I want it to be curious. I want you to see it and you kind of go, I want to go into this website. And that's the approach I'm taking. I'm going to be going for a very... clean look on the website, but also it's gonna have images that are very that I hope invoke some form of an emotion, like, oh yeah, I want to look at this kind of thing. But at the same time, I want to make sure that the WooCommerce products we put on there all relate to the website as well. So what if you were going to build a website and you're going to have a blog and you're going to have a shop in there, so there's some shopping aspect, and you were going to sell courses, so there's a bit of an LMS-y bit thingy-majig going on in there. It's not LMS, you're just selling courses, restricting content, you know, setting up all your payment gateways. What else was there? Blog, WooCommerce, LMS, I think that was it. So doing all of that stuff, but kind of making sure everything works really well, and you restrict the amount of plugins you use, because this is the big thing, right? If I start saying to you, we're going to have this, some people then end up having a website with like 30, 40 plugins, loads of templates, premium stuff everywhere. And I'm like, you can get away with the only premium thing you're going to have is Elementor Pro. And the plan is to do this for Elementor. Then I would like to do one for bricks. Again, the same concept. How would we approach it with bricks? Again, lean and mean, limited on the plugins and stuff we use, and focusing on the page speed performance and all of that. Yes, so please do hit like if you're not hit like already. I would like to think I can get that. I've got a feeling, sorry I shouted then, I've got a feeling the video won't be out for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks time, because I'm gonna start recording it next week, because I feel like I need a good 2 days to record it properly, probably 2 days to edit it. That's how beastly it's gonna be. I mean, I hope to get it out in 2 weeks time, and I hope it does well, because I like to explain why we're doing it and approaching it the way I do it, because there's too many videos out there that go, hey, yeah, we're going to build an entire website now, and actually there's just a lot of templates being thrown in, and often they don't really properly explain what they're doing or why, and I really want to do that. Thank you, Pickstar. I won't do that. And also, I want to be making more use of AI as well. So how can we use like ChatGPT and stuff like that with the AI? Because I feel like, any website builds now, I don't think, anything that's already produced, that's already scheduled, they're out there, that's happening. But any future videos that I do, really, you shouldn't be using lorem ipsum, should I? Any future videos I record, I shouldn't just say, here's a bit of text, lorem ipsum. I should now say, okay, the concept of this website is a car manufacturer. So let's go and stick in some GPT or whatever AI wording. Because really, if you've got a client where the content they've given you is shit poor, or they really haven't given you anything, AI is going to be the tool you need to be using to get some content together to help yourself out. By the way, I kind of slightly ignored some of the things. So Pickstar's saying, when will it be up? Hopefully, Pickstar, tomorrow. By the way, Pickstar, if I get it up earlier, you might probably get a sneak peek. You know, you and a few others, you might get sneak peeks. But hopefully tomorrow on the live chat, it will be up. I hope. Fingers crossed. If I work it out, it's not one of those plug and play. It's like build, plug, connect, set up, select, play. It's like quite a lot of stuff going on. Andrew, the legal punishment angle is marketing cold. People are terrified of lawsuit. Yeah, that you are right. You are right. That being said, though, I have a law degree. I have a degree in law, okay? However, I am really annoyed by how there's so much restrictions and scaremongering with data protection and GDPR and this and that it almost takes away the fun, you know, of designing sometimes. Yeah, I mean, so just to clarify the template point, I do sometimes build my own templates and use them. What some of the tutorial videos do is they go to Elementor and they just use an Elementor template, or if they're using like OceanWP, they use an OceanWP template. And often, when you look at the page from section to section to section, it starts to feel a little bit like they don't connect very well. They might make the branding and the color work, but then when you look at it, if you did a full screenshot, you look at it and go, would you really have used that? And would it not be better to show people how to build from scratch? So I want to show you how to do XYZ. I'm going to have a blog structure on the homepage, which is going to be different. In fact, I can tell you now, there will be no hero banner. No, there will be a hero banner. The hero banner is going to literally be really, really simple. Because again, that's the thing I want to get across, that you don't have to have extravagant hero banners all the time. Just enough to lure them in to want to now go down to the next section, which may be busier, but you want to, gradually just ease them in. It's like a preloader, but it's not a preloader. Preloaders come up to ease you into the content, and then it hits you. But you could have like a hero banner, which isn't forceful on the eye, and when you scroll down, you now get the rest of the big, beefier content. And that's another thing that I like to think about. Hero banners do not have to always be busy. Yeah, well, Shaveen, if you've got lorem ipsums in your portfolio, go about and change it. Exactly, Pickstar, yeah. The minute, if you are creating example websites and you've got a lot of lorem ipsum, you have no excuse now to go and get some content, 20 words, 30 words, whatever words you want. Absolutely, Dave. Well, he released it, I think it was it last week he released it? I've kind of written it down that at some point this year, I need to give Generate Press and Blocks a much more bigger part of my time. not just to produce videos for it, but to kind of really get in on it, just to kind of, you know, push myself a little bit as well. Don't worry, Pez, you know, if you're driving, you drive safely, okay, Pez, if you're listening, drive safely, don't get distracted. To be honest, John, I would agree with you in that I think ChatGPT is good, but there are much more refined and more algorithmic, superior bits of kit out there that are kind of, they are more for content writing, but you have to kind of weigh up what you want to use and if it delivers for you. David, looking forward to how to add a blog. Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be, so what I did was I spent about 4 days here and there whenever I had a chance, where it was on my phone or the desktop, looking at example websites. And what I've found is I've now in my head formulated an idea of the style I'm going for. And it's very different, but I think it's going to be quite a good education piece, because a lot of the tutorials that we see out there, and even I'm guilty of this, they all tend to be very, very similar. You have a background image, you have a headline, you have a subheader, and then you have 1 or 2 buttons, right? You might have a divider line, there might be no divider line. The text is either in the middle or to the left-hand side. You know, you got 1 button or 2 button, call to action, right? And all of the hero banners are either full page or 50-60% of the page, right? And it starts to become a little bit boring, because that's all we ever see. Yeah, or they might have an image as well. They might have a background image or no background image, and then you have an image over here. It might be a person like that, you know, look at me kind of thing. I'm a web designer. And that's about as far as it goes. And it starts to get boring and just like, oh, okay. And also, people then think that's what I need to do. If you keep being told that, you know, if everyone always butters the bread from bottom to top corner, you will then always do bottom to top corner. All you need is for someone to actually go flip it in the air and swipe the butter with your knife. And if it lands, it lands. Then you'll do it and try it. So I think that's kind of like the sort of thing we want to do. Okay, Sinan, you're making... Oh, I like this. Sinan is making a weird hero banner. Old TV retro image. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it. You got the old TV and then you got it playing in. Yeah, I got it. I do, Sinan. I do remember it absolutely well. You know, Beavis and Butthead times. So... Is it like, so basically you're going to have like the square video, maybe with a rounded corner. Hey, Gary, I mean, you know, I'm sure you get it. I mean, I'll tell you what, 1992, okay, Beavis and Butthead, right, were like, it was like, you know, I mean, if you think back to the 90s, right, the 1990s, right, you know, The Simpsons was the big thing. We had Do the Bartman song, Do the Bartman, right? You know, Don't Have a Cow Man. We had that song, right? And then 2 years later, we had Beavis and Butthead. And it was like, that was the cartoon for teenagers. Oh, and of course, we had Ren and Stimpy as well. For anyone who's never seen Ren and Stimpy, do not watch it with your kids. But you had Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, and it was like the new age for cartoons, right? It was like, you know, you sat there going, If you've never watched Beavis and Butthead, none of this will make sense, okay? But if you were, you know, if you were like me, 1992, right? What a time, you know. You know, teachers used to hate it because we'd sit there like going, you know, I'm not going to say what we said, but, you know, hey, anyway. Pixar says, I like the snow. What do you mean you like the snow? Are you having another conversation here, Pixar, with someone else? I like the snow. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it was like, what did they used to say? They'd be like, I'm gonna hey, oh, oh. Hey, hey, spank the monkey. Oh, so cool. You know, but it was like, yeah, hey, Erica, yeah, Ren and Stimpy. I mean, 1992 was such a, like, you know, you obviously, you had Wayne's World, you know, around about that time, just before that. You had Ren and Stimpy, you had Beavis and Butthead, you know, funny times, okay, really funny times. And anyone who's just joined in going, what the heck was Imran doing right now? If you've not watched Beavis and Butthead, you won't get it. Anyway, we're going on a tangent. So yeah, I'm talking about how, by the way, some of you have said to me when, you've asked me quite a while ago, Grid Builder, I have finally got the video for that done last night. That video will come out next week. So Grid Builder with the Loop Builder. Pinky and the Brain. Oh, I loved Pinky and the Brain. The Pinky and the Brain, 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 dun 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 dun. I love that cartoon. Of the Animaniacs, the Pinky and the Brain was the best bit, and I always felt like they should have had their own show, their own movie. Why don't they do a movie about Pinky and the Brain? I'd flippin' watch it. I'd go to the cinema and watch it. I'd dress up as well as the Brain. Dun, dun. I was talking about something that's now gone out of my head because I saw the word Pinky in the Brain. Oh, man. Video Boy, are Canva stock videos any good? Yeah, they are. I think Canva's got some really good stock videos or photos. We're going to do the same thing we do every day, Erica. Take over the world. So Canva is great for videos and photos. You got Unsplash. You got, I mean, there's loads of places you can go to get stuff, right? Loads of places. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? I was talking about something right before that. Grid Builder, that's it. Now, some of you have asked a question, and I'm going to answer it here now. Elemental AI. How did I get exclusive access? Well, I got exclusive access because I'm quite friendly with the Elemental people behind the scenes, which is great. However, the Elemental AI Pixabay's good. Elemental AI, okay, was in version 3.13. It's version 3.13, which means it's just around the corner. So the beta version for 3.13 must be coming very, very, very soon. I thought it would come out today. I now think it might be later on in the week. But Elemental 3.13 beta is going to have the AI. Of course, it will be the beta version, so we don't recommend using beta versions because beta versions aren't always perfect. Trust me, beta versions can have a few issues here and there, so never put that on a live website. So what you need to think about is you could test it out, and then the final version would probably be about 2 weeks away after the beta comes out, usually. So mid-May, might even be before that actually, first week or mid-May, you would have Elemental AI available for you to start using within your content. Fernando, do you think there will be a tool to help in automatically restyling a WordPress site with IA? I don't know. I don't know of any tool yet. Thank you, Pez. Well, the reason why I was very good with my Beavis and Butthead impression was because we would do that. I remember we'd be sat in maths doing Beavis and Butthead impressions across the table to one another, and the teacher used to go mad at us. Stop that really silly laughing and giggling. Stop it right now, I say. And we were like, okay. It was... I was 13 at the time, 1992. I was 13 going on to 14, okay? 1992. it was your teenage years, you know. It was a weird time. And now when you look at 14-year-olds now, way different, aren't they, to what we were like? Yeah, exactly, Gary. And this is the thing, right? Like what you've said. We just have like image, blocks of text, you know, headline, subheader, divider, buttons, you know, and that's become the norm. And I often like, you know, and I've done a previous video on this before where I've said you can have a hero banner with just an image, no words. You can do it with words and no image. So we don't have to always follow the same style, you know, text, image, or background image, you know, and it doesn't even have to be a full width image, you know. So we get conditioned into thinking this is the way to do, because nearly every tutorial, and like I said, I'm guilty of this, nearly every tutorial that comes out, that's the style that is put out there, right? So, yeah. So AppSumo says $39 for deposit photos, 100 photos lifetime. Is that 100 photos lifetime, like, what? Per month or per year or forever? Michael does a pretty good Barney. Oh, no, please don't do Barney the dinosaur. I used to hate Barney the dinosaur. The amount of times we'd have to put Barney the dinosaur on to help Raheem go sleep when he was 1 year old. Oh, my God. You know, oh, God, some of the songs are coming back to me now. Barney the dinosaur. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. What was the song? Oh, God. What was it? No, I can't. Do you know what? The tune's in my head. I can't get the words out. Erica's son watched SpongeBob, and I could deal with that. Yeah, do you know what? Because, like, there's this one episode of Barney that's about an hour's long, right? And it's about Barney and the kids. They come to his ranch or wherever. And, you know... Oh my God, every day. And sometimes we'd watch the whole episode, 1 hour, and Raheem wouldn't fall asleep. He'd be like, oh my God, we don't have to put it on again. And I just have to listen to it. It's like, no. Michael, he was 26 and mimicking Beavis and Butthead, not just for teenagers. I don't think. Hey, do you know what? I don't think I still feel like I'm in my early 20s. I'm still young at heart. I still like to have a laugh. I still like to laugh and joke. There are people who go, "Oh, Imran, at your age," and I'm like, whatever. Okay. Thank you, Fernando, and I'm really glad that optimization page speed video is working well for you as well. Just going down some of the comments here. Yeah, and that's the thing, though, Pez, isn't it? I mean, kids, forget teenagers, kids, iPads, computers, mobile phones, range of TV programs and stuff. The world is so different to what it was like when we were kids, right? Maticek, Ajetor. Don't know that one. Hey, Pez, of course I remember the floppy disk. I actually remember, you know, the big floppy disks, the big ones. You know, the very loose, big. That's what the floppy disk was, though, wasn't it? It was the floppy, the proper floppy, before we had the smaller ones. And I remember when testing in hospitals was all recorded on the big floppy bits of film. And then we would go to college, right? And in our bags, when we took our bag to college, we probably had 5 or 6 of the small floppy disk, right? The little floppy disk, right? Yeah, the 8-inch floppies, that's it. And then we had the little 1.2 megabyte floppy disk, right? We had all of that, you know. And do you remember, like, when, like, you'd put the floppy disk in and then it got stuck? You'd be like, what? Get out! Because the little silver bit caught on the end. And then you had to, like, get, like, a screwdriver or a pen or a hairpin from someone to get the silver bit to kind of just go down so you could pull the disc out. You know, 1.4. There it is, 1.4. There you go. I don't know, 1.2. I was close, 1.4. Those were the days, right? And then you would, like, you'd get a pen. I mean, you had some people, they got a sticker, put a sticker on and wrote it. Or some of us had a pen and we'd write on the disc. And then you cross it out and write something else. So you get a disc and it's got loads of crosses. And, like, where someone's tried to rub the words out, but it was written in a permanent marker, you know. I've still got a couple of floppy disks lying around somewhere. I have seen them. I don't know why I haven't got rid of them yet. George says, everyone, I love you, I love you, I love... Oh, what's this? Oh my God, is that Barney? I love you. I love you, you love me. We are a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. When won't you say you love me too? No, it's I love you, you love me. We are a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Oh, Barney. Oh, come here, everybody. Give me a break. Did you really have to do that, George? Did you really have to bring the mood down? Did you really have to bring the mood down? You know, to be honest, though, sir, I mean, what I would say, Sergio, is that if you believe in what you post and you're not antagonizing or anything like that, just go for it. And I, after last week, and I was reminded about some of the toxicity in some of the groups, I'm like, I'll be careful what I post. And if I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, just move on and not get too bogged down with it, kind of thing. Just check it. Sorry, just the comments coming. I need to check what that was. Yep, sorry. I did not know that Sony cameras used the 1.4 discs. I don't recall that. Give some kids Windows 95. Oh, dear, mate. You know, I mean, if you gave them floppies, you know, it's like... And it's not even that long ago. That's what's really funny. You know, if someone gave you, like, something from, like, when I was a kid, when someone showed me something from the war, like, 35 years before I was born, or whatever, 40 years ago, you still recognised and you knew what it was. But, wow, evolution and things have really moved on, right? Please don't forget to hit like if you have not hit like already. I don't have any music CDs anymore or stuff now. Everything is just digitalized. Yeah, I mean, it's so easy now, isn't it? I mean, look at computer games, right? You can just, like, boot up your machine, download an entire megatastic game. And you think back to the old days, like Final Fantasy VII was 4 discs. Do you remember the PlayStation, Final Fantasy VII? There were 4 compact discs for the game. And you had to then finish it and then load up another one. And now, it just flies through the air, or your phone line, or something, or up your backside. I don't know, it just comes in now. Yeah, I mean, when we had the CD and the DVDs, I thought that was it. Then we had the mini discs, which were a failure. Then we had all the, you know, the MP3s and all of that. And that's when it started really, like, thinking, wow, we are really going places. But for me, the big thing was the iPhone. For me, it was... We all loved our phones, but the iPhone in 1997, that for me was the game changer. For me, in terms of what you could do. Because you had the internet, right? We all had the internet. But to be able to access all of that on a mobile device wherever you were, without carrying around a laptop or connecting by a cable or whatever to something, to have all of that, the power that gave us was like, I mean, you could now like go on holiday and you had a whole load of games available to you. You had access to so much when the mobile phone came, the smartphone. That was the massive game changer, I think, because it suddenly changed everything, didn't it? Does anyone still use Winamp? Thankfully, I hope not, Winamp. But don't you still... Hold on. Well, there is still a version of it around. Skynet is already here, just a different name. By the way, though, AI, none of these AI tools are proper AI. I hope you all know that, right? Proper AI is like singularity. Proper AI is going to be like proper thinking. All of the AI that we currently see are built by algorithms. They're not proper. They are machine learning, but they're not what you call like learning to be evil and treacherous. No, they learn based on the input and the prompts. What they don't do is then form their own like megalomaniac brain mind. So it's not like dangerous. You know, every time everyone hears AI, they go, "Oh, Skynet." And you go, "No, it's different form of AI." Okay, it's not that. However, it could happen. It could still happen. We could still have this like ultra megalomaniac forming, right? You know. Ive, how you doing? Before the floppy disk, I used cassette tape. Absolutely, yep, cassette. I had my Commodore 64. So I had an Atari 2600, which was shit. I had the ET game, Go Home game. I had that. And it was the most rubbish game ever. Anyone who's ever played the ET Go Home game on the Atari, you booted it up, you just moved the character around. It looks like it's like Pac-Man, where there's dots, but it doesn't do anything. And it made no sense what the point of that game was. Like, no point. Then I got the Commodore 64 in 1986. Loved that. Loved the Commodore 64 to bits, I did. I loved it. Oh, man, did I love that machine. You know, some of the games on there, you know, they were good at the time, right? The Commodore 64. And even when they had the Commodore Amiga, I stuck with the 64. I still liked it. Right, just check comments. Mel, maybe we should all put more focus on mobile first design. That's quite an interesting one because I think that is a really good idea. I, however, tend to start with the desktop. I tell you why. I find if I start with the mobile, then when I get to the desktop, I have to add. And then I've got to refix things. Whereas if I start with the desktop, I've got everything here. Then when I get to the mobile, I go, right, let's hide that image. Let's get rid of that bit of text. Let's just jig that. I start with like everything and then I can refine it. Whereas I find with the mobile, I've tried it and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, you then end up adding and then you have to double check. I feel like I was going like that back and forth more. Whereas desktop, perfect. Mobile, slipstream. Slim it down a bit, move on. So I didn't have to keep going like that. Yeah, I mean, we had a school trip to Étretat in France. I think that's how you pronounce it, Étretat. 1992, and there was a girl in our class, and she had the Game Boy, and we were all like, "Whoa, look at that!" And she had Tetris on there and another game, and she would let us use it sometimes, but it was her Game Boy, and boy were we hooked on the Game Boy, you know, Tetris and all of that. You know, it's a timeless game. I think that is a game that when it came out then you could play it on, other machines. Then you could play it on your, your computer as well. It's one of those games that you can give to someone, not necessarily on a Game Boy, but you can give to someone and they're just hooked into it. I don't like all the versions of Tetris that we have. Like, they have Battle Tetris and this Tetris and that Tetris. And it's like, no, I just want to play Tetris. All right, I just want to play. I love you. And all right, that's all we want to do, okay? Yeah, I mean, exactly, Pez. When touchscreen phones came out, that's when I really was like blown away by like, can it get any better? And it has, obviously, over time. Yeah, you are right, Dave. If you design it properly, tools like Figma and stuff, Adobe XD, you can make it work for you in a much more easier way. John never got into the gaming world. I wonder what world you did get into, John, you sneaky man. Do you know what, Maticek? I used to love playing Solitaire. I think it was Solitaire, not Solitude, but I used to love playing Solitaire and Free Cell. I used to, like, sometimes when I was at school, I'd have a pack of cards at lunchtime and I would just play it. There were other people there, would be talking, but I could still play it, and I loved Solitaire and Free Cell. Free Cell, I could only really play on the computer because it's more to do. But Solitaire, wow, what a game. I could play that all day long. I used to play that. AR, yeah, so I did say 2 years ago, AR websites are already happening. More immersive. However, to really get the best out of immersive AR, you then expect the user to have like a device or to be able to put their phone into their device to hold it, so they feel more immersed. And then you got to think about like the haptic technology for interacting, however you want to interact and whatever game you're playing or what you're doing, right, and all of that. So so it's kind of like, I can see it happening, but it feels like there's more investment from the user to use it. Now, Michael, so I loved Solitaire. There was also the pinball game. Do you remember the pinball game on the Windows machine? How many times did you sit there playing the pinball game, hey? And Minesweeper. Minesweeper was brilliant. And you know what really got me is you were really methodical with Minesweeper, right? You were so methodical. And then you screwed up, right? You get so far, you're doing really well. And then you, like, for some stupid reason, click somewhere when logic tells you not to go there, and you screw up and get it wrong. And how many of you, when you went into Minesweeper, the first thing you did was just click in the center? You just click in the center and hope you get a big... You go, oh, okay, now we can see where we go, right? That was some of the fun of Minesweeper, right? That whole problem-solving mentality. I mean, you are right, Sinan. I do think that AR glasses eventually will become cheap. It's just, I do wonder, though, like, like, it's trying to get it to work. Like, for people with glasses and stuff as well, which I know it does, but how far can you push it? Yeah, so rank math, okay. I've noticed this as well. I don't quite understand some of the version naming for some of the tools as well. Tristan Pinball. VR headsets are a car. Michael. I'm trying to work out, okay, Michael. Okay, I'm struggling to understand how that would even work. Okay, chiropractor touches you, how would you then ensure you... Oh, I'm not even going to try and work it out. It sounds really, really weird. It sounds really, really weird. Okay, just got to quickly check a message that's come in. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, no, it's all right. Just a comment that came in. Moyes, Elemental versus Oxygen Builder. Which one is better? I've never used Oxygen. I know a lot of people that use Oxygen like it compared to Elemental, but the flip side as well. So is there anyone here who's used both of them? Pickstar says that Oxygen is better. In a way, I can see why, more control over what you're doing as well, rather than the page builder doing a lot of it for you. But I think a lot of it then comes down to, like, why are you using it? So, do you want to use a page builder? Do you want to have your hand held? Do you want to be able to get dirty? Anyone who uses bricks, you have to understand right now that you can't just jump from Elemental to bricks without having a good understanding of CSS and classes and all of that. And you're going to have to get a bit dirty. Some of the stuff that Elemental gives you, like as a setting, you don't get in bricks. So you're going to have to apply a bit of CSS to make it work, which might feel frustrating. But then again, you now have the control to dictate more over what it does for you or how it does it. So you do have to kind of depends on, like, what is your background? So Moyes, if you're still there, by the way, and I hope you're okay with the questioning, what do you currently use? How long have you been web designing? Do you have HTML, CSS experience? Do you prefer the page builder that just lays it out? What's making you consider Oxygen? Why are you thinking about Oxygen and not Breakdance? Because Breakdance is meant to be the more evolved version of Oxygen. What's making you think this? Yeah, so it's a really easy question to ask, but I think it's one of these where, like, when someone says, no, I can't even think of a question now, but we need a bit more background behind you and what's brought you to making this decision between them as well. Hey, Dave loves the Bricks and the Code Snippet plugin. There you go. Bricks is really, really good. That being said, and a lot of you are going to hate me for saying this, you could build a website using bricks, right? Without ever using the class system. You could still build a bricks website. It makes no sense to ignore the class system because it's a good strength, but technically you could build a WooCommerce website where there's no class system. You don't use it. You don't get dirty with it, right? But you could still do it, and that's the beauty about bricks. Whereas with Elemental, it's like a linear route to what you have to do, and you can deviate a little bit with a bit of code, but it's very linear. With bricks, you can kind of go like this. You can get to where you want to get to, but you can all do it in a different way. Different way to get to the same conclusion. Whereas in Elemental, you can add bits, codes in, but it's very linear. Right, you want to do this, this is what you got to do. Right? That's one of the ways I would differentiate them. Yeah, and that's the thing, Gene, as well. If you only use Elemental, you will be used to building a certain way, and then you expect everything to be done for you, which is why sometimes people get a little bit irritated. Why doesn't Elemental do this? Why doesn't Elemental do that? And you go, you need to add a code. Why do I have to add code? It should be there. Whereas with bricks, it's got the ability to do a bit more, but it also allows you to kind of form your own conclusion or route as to how you want to get there. Sinan, bricks is changing the game on Elemental too. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? So some people have said that the only reason Elementor is getting better is because of competition from Bricks and Breakdance and others. I would actually argue it in a different way, because Divi and Elementor came out to do what they needed to do to be different and better than maybe Visual Composer and other tools out there, right? You had Elementor winning all the time. Then you got Bricks who came in and went, okay, how can we be different than Elementor and do more, or have different kind of features and approach it differently? And that's what the Bricks did. Breakdance evolved from Oxygen, but it likes to call itself the evolved version of Elementor. I mean, they don't use those exact words, but that's what they're putting out, that they are better than Elementor, right? So again, they will look at Elementor and say, right, what are they doing wrong or not right or not in a better way that we can do? So they almost, in a way, their logic and their route evolves from what Elementor, who evolved from someone else, who evolved from someone else, etc. You know, everything has there's a bit of a chain reaction going on. So Elementor then looks at what they're doing and goes, right, okay, we can see now that they are taking things in a different, way. Well, okay, you know what? Why don't we do nestable sliders? Yeah, we can do that. Why don't we do a class system? Yeah, we can do that. CSS grid. Do you know what? We didn't put any time into that. We can now see a lot of people like that. Why don't we do that? And then eventually you will get to a... Yeah, absolutely. Breakdance is much closer, yeah. Eventually you're going to get to a point where Breakdance will now say, oh, hold on a moment. Elementor now have lots of extra stuff. Do we now need to push the boat out on what we want to do? The same with Bricks, you know. So every time another tool comes out, they're always going to be trying to do something which is better. And Breakdance is very much like, you could almost call it an evolved version of what Elementor wasn't doing. In the last 6 months, though, we've had a ton of improvements and features. The Elementor is getting stronger. Okay, it is getting stronger in terms of what it does. For me, the really big important one is the post filter. And if they only do it for categories, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. They've really got to think outside the box and do more than just categories. You've got to do custom fields. You've got to do attributes for WooCommerce. You've got to basically do a little bit like what Grid Builder does. Grid Builder is a great plugin. Video on that comes out next week. Don't forget to hit like. We've only got 22 likes. 65 people have viewed today. We've only got 22 likes. That hurts. But hit the like button. So I think like all of the page builders are continuously going to be kind of like improving some way or the other. Oh man, Big Kahuna. I don't even know what Coffee Cup's HTML builder is. I may have come across it, but it doesn't ring any bells in my head yet. But there you go. Right? Templates and themes in the early days with Theme Forest back in 2003, 2000, we're going back a long time now. They were trying to make it quicker and easier for you to do different stuff. So everything just keeps evolving, And you're right, Carapos, not all of the features are stable, but to be honest, nearly every product out there, even Bricks, some of their stuff doesn't always work and there's bugs here or there. Breakdance, there's bugs. Oxygen still has bugs. Webflow has bugs. Everything has something not absolutely perfect. But I'm glad that Elementor are moving in the right direction because there was a danger that a lot of the YouTubers, influencers were kind of going, well, okay, I'm going to do something else now. you know. But I would say that even though like some of the Elemental features are still like in beta or whatever, a lot of some of the features in other tools that are now released as a final, they're not perfect, or there's a bit of a bug, or it doesn't do what you want. So I think there's always rooms for improvement everywhere. I mean, for me, Bricks is my, if I stopped using Elemental completely, I'd go all in on Bricks. I do want to learn Gutenberg a bit more, generate, so that I have another backup, because, it's kind of good to have a good understanding of what else is there. Yeah, exactly, Dave. Yeah, it's still experimental, and that's the thing, in that things could still change. And then when we do get that mobile menu builder, what if there's a bit of a change somewhere else? Harish asked a question. What is the best way to super customize the WooCommerce products archive page? Loop grid, Harish. Elemental Pro, loop grid. That's what you need, the loop grid. Yep, dead easy. I did videos on loop grid formats 2 or 3 weeks ago. Go and watch them. They were for post, but they will give you idea for products as well. Erica made a mistake to help out a friend by doing a simple, you did a one-page website for nothing. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, this is where you have to draw the line, don't you? Or what you say is, Erica, you say, look, I'll build it for free, but you must give me what I want the way I want it. So you must be full on control. I'll do it. We can only have one round of changes because of time, but you've got to give me what I want the way I want it. Otherwise, it takes longer for me to interpret and process. Kavinda says, thoughts on block editor. I don't use Cadence block. I have to be honest, okay? Cadence blocks is good. A lot of people rave about it. I, unfortunately, don't have any appetite to use anything like that. And if I'm honest, if I was going to use it, I would be going for like generate blocks. I would probably be using that rather than Cadence blocks. I hear a lot of good stuff. I've heard people go on about the latest or the new updates coming out for Cadence blocks are really good. However, I find the Cadence block settings so convolutedly complicated. I just don't like it. Tried it, didn't like it, didn't do any more on it. Sergio, what would make you decide to use Bricks over Elemental for a new project? WooCommerce. If it's a WooCommerce store, I'm always going to go to Bricks. If like, and that's the thing as well, okay? That's the other thing as well. 8 months ago, I felt like Bricks was like, whoa. But the more I work between the two, I sort of kind of go, well, 99% of my clients aren't going to have any advantage with using Bricks, because I do a lot on the optimization side and stuff like that. So there wasn't a massive pull. Second, if me and the client split up, I know that they can go away and work on the Elemental website. Some people say to me, but you shouldn't think like that. But again, both are really good, okay? And I don't feel like I need to drop one to use the other. I think I will decide on the job at hand. But if it's a WooCommerce store, I would definitely be using Bricks. And I know people might flip it the other way around, but because the Bricks WooCommerce filtering system is really smart and nice. So it makes it a lot easier without having to go for another filter plugin. What's that, Eddie? You put thumbs down. I don't know. I haven't even checked to see if there is a thumbs down. But, I get thumbs down all the time, to be honest, Eddie. I get it all the time. Oh, no. What's this, Eddie? You've said I've ignored you. Have I ignored you, Eddie? I don't think I've ignored you, Eddie. Did you ask a question? I can't see it, Eddie. There's no question. So you know what you've said, Eddie, that I've ignored you? I don't see a question from you above. Did you post something? I mean, you mentioned about Steve Jobs, but that was it. Yeah, Eddie, I can't see anything else, Eddie. Sorry. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Eddie, I can't see anything else from you. Oh, by the way, Pixar, no, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring. I'm just trying to. Sometimes I'm reading comments and then I'm picking one I'm going to focus on. So no, I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm not ignoring. What happens is when I'm talking, comments come in and then I get a blue button that says there's loads and I have to quickly hit it. And sometimes the comments above get wiped out a little bit. But don't worry about that. Erica, I'm getting paid but only 500, but now they want the logo. It starts as a 1-pager, it's turned into 8 pages. Yeah, you know, how upset would you be, Erica, if you and this person stopped talking and you fell out? How upset would you be? How upset would you be? Sergio, I'm asking because I'm always struggling to choose when I... Sorry, what's that, Sergio? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Ive, I wish you can style the WordPress nav widget menu so that you can be visually as button. Yeah, I mean, there are ways to do that, Ive, actually. There is a plugin, it's called Admin... what's it called? There's a plugin, it has the word admin in it, but allows you to change the way the sidebar looks in WordPress, so you can change the icons and everything. I can't remember what the plugin's called. It wouldn't surprise me, Michael, if Erica hasn't got a contract. Yeah, and like Erica says, yeah, it's one of those things where when you work with friends, it's like, it's not on the top of your agenda. Hey, Inderpreet, hope you're okay. Yeah. Yeah, so Erica, if it's not like your friend and it's a friend of a friend, I would kind... Was it admin columns, Pixar? I can't remember. It had the word admin in. So back to Erica. If this was me, there's a friend of a friend, and we had originally agreed on 1 page, I would now go back and go, look, really sorry, but I can't put any more time into this because that £500 only stretches as far as X. The build cost goes up. I've done enough for you to now go and get someone else to go further with it. Or here's what the cost would be. It's just that, you know, and use an analogy with them. Say, right, you know, like, look, it's like someone going into a restaurant, ordering a burger. The burger is then built and brought over. And then they say, oh, no, it's for my family of 10 people. And they expect 9 more burgers. But the cost that they were quoted was for 1 burger. Try and give them an analogy. If they're a business, make it relatable to their business so they kind of get it. You know? Ah, there you go. Sergio says admin colors. So there you go. Try that one out. By the way, if you are ever using any third-party plugin or a code snippet or basically nearly anything when you're adding into your website, make sure you take a backup first, okay? Not just of the WordPress, the entire database, get an entire big backup. Because you could install a plugin and have a traumatic fatal error. And then you might go back to your host, but something has gone fundamentally wrong somewhere and you are now screwed. If you have a backup, a full backup, you are protected. It's really easy for someone to go, yeah, just go and use that plugin. Just go and use it. Make sure you've taken a backup. If it's a test website, who cares? Staging website, who cares? You know, you can get there. But if it's a live website, you must take a backup. I cannot stress this enough. Some people have come to me and gone, I used your page speed code snippet and my website broke, completely fell over. And I kind of go, did you have a backup? They go, no. I go, well, I can't predict what you've got on your website. I'm showing you that with Elementor, with like whatever, with all of this stuff, right? It works. These snippets work. But if you've got a website, hey Andrew, if you've got a website with 50 plugins, and you go and add in a snippet that works perfectly fine for me, it might screw up your website because I don't know what else you've got. I don't know what version Elementor you've got. I don't know if you've got add-ons. I don't know if you're using whatever you're using, what theme you got. I don't know your PHP. I don't know none of that. So always, always, always take a backup. And I've got a video coming out about that. I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow actually. Basically saying, how do you activate safe mode for code snippets, number one. And number two, you've got to take a backup before you do any of this, right? If ChatGPT generates code for you, don't stick it in a live website without taking a backup, because you will regret it. Do you know how many times ChatGPT has punched out stuff which is tragic? I test it out and boom. And you're like, what? This is a fresh WordPress installation. This hasn't even got Elementor on here. This has got 2023 theme. This is basic. There's no images. There's no post. There's nothing. Kaboom. Gone. And you kind of go, what was that? What was that? Right? So please don't make that mistake. Okay? So if you're using the page speed snippets, they work. I'm telling you they work. Because they work for so many people. But then I get an email from someone going, my website's fatally broke. How do I fix it? And I go, well, I don't know. It's your snippet. And I go, yeah, it's my snippet. But what else did you have on your website? That's irrelevant. And you go, actually, it is relevant. All right, trust me, it's relevant, okay? Anything that affects or changes anything. If you're using WP Rocket, if you're using OMGF plugin for your font, if you're using something else to optimize your images, like an image optimization plugin, of course, any extra snippet you add might suddenly end up in conflict with something else you've got. So you gotta check and back up first. Daniel, is Wix bad? No. Wix is absolutely fine. The only reason I don't recommend Wix is because you pay monthly. Everything is, your domain, everything sometimes is purchased through Wix, which is a big mistake. Well, no, it's not a complete mistake because you can still redirect it. You are now trapped in their infrastructure. We had a client who had a website, basic website. They paid an extra $60-something for a video and 3 images. A video and 3 images, because Wix, they have the app marketplace if you want to get extra stuff in. I showed them that on a WordPress website, we could do all the extra stuff they wanted for free. Well, they pay me, but it's for free. There's no extra plugin required, or free plugins, and the video and the 3 images that cost a total of $60-something. I found the exact same video and the exact same images on Canva. They paid $69. $60-something. Not 69. 60-something. I could get them for free from Canva. And by the way, you didn't even need Canva Pro. I showed them that, look, if you go in on a Canva free license, there's your video and there's your free images. Because I looked at the images and the video, looked at their Wix account. The Wix account showed the ID for the images, the description. I put the same description in, took about 2 minutes of scrolling and boom, there was the video and there were the images. Right? So because you are inside, like Pixar says, this ecosystem, their infrastructure, the same with Squarespace, you want to do a little bit more, you're trapped. But there's so much you can do that you have to pay for in Wix. Like if you want to do an appointment system, you got to pay for it. Well, in WordPress, there's a plugin, there's code, there's way you can put a Calendly link in. There's stuff you can do. In Wix, got to pay for really basic stuff. And when you're stuck, you are limited as to how many Wix developers or people there are out there to help you out. I can use Wix, I just don't like using it because I feel restricted. And that puts you off then when you're working on it, right? You want to have... WordPress does have limitations. We know that. Elementor has limitations. Bricks has limitations. All of them do. Webflow will as well. But when it comes to proper limited, Wix and Squarespace are so stuck in their ecosystem that I feel like I don't have the ability to expand. Now, if you use it and you like it, go for it. Right? So there's nothing wrong with using it, but the minute you want to expand, it's like Shopify. If you're using Shopify and it works for you, great. How many times have you had someone who's got a Shopify shop, they're selling, they're making money, but they're stuck because they want to do more, and one of the ways they can do more is either they hire a developer, high-end coding, and then that opens a can of worms, or they need to switch to WordPress. And 9 times out of 10, those clients say to me, I considered WordPress, but Shopify seemed really, really easy. And then they regret it, right? Because now they're trapped, right? Everything is Shopifyed, right? Hey, take care, Eddie. You beat the 2-minute warning, Eddie. Take care, mate. See you soon. Hey, Andrew. Yeah, we started early, but we've been here since 12, mate. So don't worry, okay? Can you ask ChatGPT to debug code? You can do. I've done it. So I had a bit of code from somewhere. I then said to it, rewrite it with XYZ, or this code gives me this error, or I just had an error. And I went, why do I get this error? And ChatGPT went, it might be due to da-da-da-da-da. Here's how you get around it. And I went in, played around, and yeah, ChatGPT was kind of right. Okay, everyone, I'm going to give you a 2-minute warning. See you on Friday as well. Hopefully, I have my wall thing sorted out. If I get it wrong, it's going to look really tragically bad. That's what I'm worried about. I've got to get it right. It's something that hangs on the wall. And when you take care, Pickstar, when you have 3 things hanging on your wall, if they're not perfectly aligned, like proper perfect, I hate hanging 3 picture frames where they're perfect aligned. I always get it slightly wrong, ever so slightly. So I'm going to have to do my best on here. So Indapre, you need to go to the Web Squadron Facebook group. Indapre, go to the Web Squadron Facebook group and post it there, okay? Right, you know where to go. So here's where you need to go, mate, if you're not sure. So you should know this, okay? So Indapre, can you please go here? Here, it didn't copy. Why didn't it copy? Copy and paste. There we go. Go over here and paste it there. I'm going to just answer Raptor X's question. And then I'll be off, okay? So quick question. What business email service do I use? Actually, my email is via SiteGround. I know people have said don't, use something else. I just use SiteGround, and it's perfectly fine for me. Okay, everyone, I'm going to say goodbye now. Take care. I'm going to jump out now. I'm going to go and just sort a few things out. I'm going to have a look at these parcels. I might be live with Paul Charlton tonight at 8 p.m. where we're talking about Elementor AI. But we might be doing that tonight at 8 p.m. Catch you all tomorrow. Take care. Hopefully the wall is done or not. We'll get to see tomorrow.